G'day guys, Graham here. So today we're going to be looking at how to breed the L15 or pretty much any of the dwarf catfish species when the eggs are kicked out or they're not in ideal circumstances. So this isn't a guide for your basic breeding, it's more of an egg recovery tutorial. So I've noticed that there hasn't been too many of those on the internet. So a quick piece of information about the L15. It was actually named after the member of the Natural History Commission of Rondon, Gustavo Pectolos, or the candy stripe pleco. So as you can see in the video here, this is the ideal situation you want to be in. I've got some Peppermints L002, some older L15s in there, and I think 2 or 3 L333s, but they're not on screen. So this is the final stage of growing out that you want to get to. So this photo here is from Planet Catfish. It shows the various 9 cycles that you go from egg hatching through to a juvenile. As you can see, these fish have enormous egg sacs, which put a lot of strain on the brand new vertebrae or the spinal column of these fish. In comparison to marbles, as you can see, they're much smaller, much easier to raise because you don't get the occurrence of spinal contortions. And just because of how much stress that the egg sacs put on the newly hatched fry, in the camera now, I've got some halfway hatched L15 eggs that the males kicked out. I've already got about 15 from throughout the tank already, but as you can see, I'm being very gentle, just trying to see if I can help separate any of the about to hatch fry and move them straight away into a holding net. The holding net is also in my cleanest tank. You want absolutely no particles in the water if you can. I don't know if you can see it too well on the stream, but that water in this tank is immaculate. It's got about 5 filters on it. So the net itself is a 2 micron sieve, and then I've got a very fine mesh net, high quality net for the fish to rest in. You also want the net to be double the depth of the strainer, so that about half of the net itself is actually flat. It gives the egg something to lean on and reduces the pressure again on the newly hatched fry's spine. There we go, I've just hatched one on my hand using a 3,000 litre an hour wave maker at about 2.5 feet, so you're just getting some nice dispersion, but you're not smashing the net either. That's the first ones that I've been able to hatch so far by hand. The others are actually in another tank, which aren't actually featured in this video at the moment, but I'll show you what they look like at day 1. So as I said, you want to really concentrate on making sure that you don't miss any of the hatchings while you're smashing the net with the water pressure coming from the wave maker. I am using the word smashing because that's what it would feel like to the fry, but it's about the same amount of flow from flicking your hand across in front of them. You could even use that if you really wanted to, but you're going to make an absolute mess. It's better to use a filter. Again, you want to be doing this for no longer than 5 to 10 minutes at a time, maybe 2 to 3 times maximum, and then we'll move on to stage 2, which I will have a video of that in a sec. But as you see, you can generally tell which eggs are going to hatch because the fish can poke their head through at the leading edges of the egg. So imagine the egg like a chicken egg. If you lie it on a table, from top to bottom. God, that was a great explanation there. You actually want to be helping the fish hatch from the top to the bottom, not from the side to the other side, because the spine is usually along the vertical axis of the eggs if the fish have developed the right way, because they are not actually completely circular, they're slightly oval. You want to be concentrating on making sure that the spine comes out first and then the egg sac comes out, not the other way around, because that's actually how the fish die in the capsule, because they actually get ripped off and separated from the egg sac. Keeping in mind also that when the fish first hatch, the egg sac's actually about 90% of the overall mass of the fish as well, so they pretty much go wherever the egg sac goes. Here we go again, just being very gentle, having a look, seeing if I can get in another hatch. Alright, so this is stage 2. I've actually started by hand to separate the eggs, as I said, going splitting from the top to the bottom, not side to side, so you've got to make sure you've got to orient the egg properly. I know you can't see it the best because of my hands in the way and it's a bit dark, but it's more so you listening to the technique more so than seeing it, because it's very hard and it's very small. Here we go, very gently grabbing, hopefully in most circumstances, the empty eggs next to the egg that you're targeting, and then just gently pulling, and if the fish is ready to hatch, it'll just come straight out. I did this about 6 or 7 times before recording, and I'm hopefully also, there we go, we just have one come out there. That's a good result, very good result. Now the next thing I'd also like to mention is that you're going to get it wrong a few times. These eggs are generally in the middle of the clutch because the females will lay in layers, and eventually the ones in the middle of the layers, depending on how big the clutch is, quite often don't get any flow from the males fanning, and they're the ones that will fungalize. So you're generally not going to get those in a normal clutch anyway, and the male will actually eat those once all the others have hatched. So the eggs are stuck together, which also makes it easier compared to cichlids, but it also can be a disadvantage. Alright, so we're at day 2, I believe, after hatching in this video. So as you can see here, they're living off the embryos, you're not feeding at all. The egg sacs are still a huge amount of their mass. This is day 4, pretty much day 5, I think it was about midnight. Egg sacs are starting to be consumed, they're starting to get some striping. Here we go, I've had to separate them out because there was too many in the net, so I've got 2 nets going. This is day 6 to 7, again at midnight. It's the best time to do it. I think there's actually one that's doing quite well, and here we go. So this is the final stage you're looking for. The embryo has been completely consumed, and the digestive system and the fish is ready to go, and they're ready to eat. They've also got the silver bottom. And again, this is the final result you're looking for. You want absolutely no poop on the bottom of your fry catchers. I've got a lot of flow going into those to wash them out, but you can also pick them up and flush them yourself. These fish will poop about 8 times a day, and if you've got about 40 fry in each fry hat catcher, you're going to have a bad day if you leave the poop. That's the other big one. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing several more videos